Yeah, it started.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining. We will just give it a couple more minutes as I can still see people logging on, and then we will kick today's session off. Okay, thank you again for joining today's webinar series. Again, we will just run through a couple of points about the challenge and about Aspire for those that haven't joined the sessions before. I can see a couple of familiar names, so forgive us if we're repeating any information for you guys. And then, as usual, Program Manager Vina Hausen will be here to answer any questions that you may have with regards to putting the white papers together. So, yeah, without further ado, Vina, I'll hand over to you.
Thank you, Tom. Hello, everyone. Welcome to yet another episode of MBZIRC Maritime Grand Challenge webinars. I'm Vina Hausen, the Program Manager of MBZIRC Maritime Grand Challenge. I'm a part of Aspire that is driving the creation of transformative technologies. So today's agenda is pretty much similar to the previous webinar. I'm going to provide you an introduction to Aspire and the MBZIRC Maritime Grand Challenge. We will then talk about a discussion forum that is created to facilitate teaming activities and ask questions to the organizers. We will have a Q&A session after that. And in the end, I would encourage all the participants to go to our website and take a look at the FAQs that we have already provided. We have the FAQs and their answers. This might help you write your white paper more effectively. So before we look at what the MBZIRC has in store between now and 2023, I'd like to talk a little bit about Aspire. Aspire is an organization that exists to bridge the gap between lab and the real world. We're based in Abu Dhabi, and we are the technology program management arm of Advanced Technology Research Council, ATRC in short. A part of ATRC, we are also a sister organization of Technology Innovation Institute, TII, which is ATRC's applied research arm. Our role is to drive the creation of transformative technologies. Fundamentally, we focus on commissioning research that leads to pioneering advances, helping deliver new technologies with practical applications. We do this in a number of ways, from directing strategy to funding research, selecting partners, managing the development of research and shaping the problem statements and international grand challenges to really drive the next great leaps in tech evolution. At Aspire, we are here for the real world. We don't do research for the sake of research. We frame our research statements with clear benefits and practical commercial applications in mind. We work in close consultation with researchers, innovators, and cross-sector industry stakeholders from all levels of the local and international R&D ecosystem. We ensure that our research projects have a clear path to successful application. So it's a natural and logical part of our mission to sponsor and organize grand challenges at the highest level, which can translate quickly into IP and commercial success. As a part of Aspire's mission to solve tomorrow's issues, our high-profile competitions and grand challenges reach out to engage innovators and talented research teams from around the globe. To us, they offer a unique way to approach problem solving and maybe even to reach innovators we have never heard of until now. We're challenging them and you to develop groundbreaking solutions to some of the world's most pressing problems. X Prize Feed the Next Billion is the very first grand challenge sponsored by Aspire with the title sponsor. Let me give you a little bit background about this. So by 2050, Earth's population will be 9.7 billion. Demand for high protein products is increasing. Impact of meat production is devastating the planet. This challenge seeks to address these conflicting trends. Feed the Next Billion competition was launched in December 2020 and will run for 4 years. It carries a total prize purse of $15 million. This competition incentivizes innovation in chicken breast and fish fillet alternatives. And the goal is to replicate or outperform conventional chicken breast and fish fillet in access, environmental sustainability, animal welfare, nutrition and health, taste and texture. So we have about 28 semifinalist teams. We might add 2 more semifinalist teams to this list, and they're currently in the solution development phase. So keep tuned to us, keep tuned on our website. We will be announcing any latest news about X Prize Feed the Next Billion over there. So let's start by looking at the bigger picture. Robots are everywhere, and autonomous systems are playing an increasingly important role across a huge range of sectors and applications. Meanwhile, they're getting more cost-effective as they become more powerful. So far, so good. But there's a tangible gap between what they can achieve here and now and the kinds of capabilities we need as a society. Through the MBZIRC Maritime Grand Challenge, we at Aspire are looking to bridge this gap as part of our wider remit. We are seeking to push technological boundaries, enabling robots to work more autonomously in dynamic, unstructured environments while interacting and collaborating with us and with one another. I'd like to play a short promo video soon. So the MBZIRC Maritime Grand Challenge, for those of you who don't know much about us, we'll start with a bit of background. So MBZIRC stands for Mohammed bin Zayed International Robotics Challenge, which aims to become one of the world's largest and most prestigious international robotics competitions. Established in 2017, it's held every 2 years in Abu Dhabi as a real-world challenge for universities, research centers, companies, and individual innovators from all over the world. The aim of the challenge is to inspire the development of solutions in autonomous robotics. Our previous challenges have attracted teams from across Asia, Europe, North America, and the Middle East. Today, it's at the very forefront of exploration and experimentation as we set out to find novel technological success that are resilient in a dynamic and unpredictable market. Here's our promo video.
From the Mohammed bin Zayed International Robotics Challenge, a new global grand challenge for 2023, as teams of pioneering innovators from around the world converge on the coast of Abu Dhabi, UAE, to take part in an ambitious robotics competition and compete for a prize purse of over $3 million. Welcome to the MBZIRC Maritime Grand Challenge. The MBZIRC Maritime Grand Challenge is a unique, real-world challenge intended to inspire the creation of groundbreaking solutions in autonomous robotics, focused on applications of heterogeneous swarms in the air and out at sea, stimulating ideas, encouraging collaboration, and pushing boundaries. This edition of MBZIRC is a System of Systems challenge. bringing together diverse teams with skills in robotics, navigation, communications, and autonomous technologies to unleash their creativity together. In 2023, the Maritime Grand Challenge will focus on deploying autonomous robotic technologies to address the global problems of illegal fishing, piracy, smuggling, and coastline security. This highly complex, multi-layered task involves autonomous, unmanned aerial and surface vehicles working together in a GNSS-denied environment out at sea to detect an unfriendly vessel and offload goods from it in the shortest possible time. Making it happen will require a collaborative symphony of heterogeneous technologies and unmanned platforms backed by autonomous infrastructure. The MBZIRC Maritime Grand Challenge is organized over 3 distinct phases. A white paper phase, open to participants from across the globe until the end of December 2021. A simulation phase for shortlisted semi-finalists. And finally, a demonstration phase for 5 finalists who compete against the clock in a real-life scenario. To succeed, you'll need to create a vibrant ecosystem of partners to propel novel solutions with deep reasoning to counter real-world problems. Now, the call for participation is open. To register your interest and battle with the leading pioneers of autonomous robotics, visit us at MBZIRC.com and let the Maritime Grand Challenge begin. Visit MBZIRC.com for more details.
So I'm now delighted to set out the details of our very next Global Grand Challenge, our 3rd edition of the MBZIRC Maritime Grand Challenge. It's a unique real-world competition designed to inspire the creation of groundbreaking solutions in autonomous robotics in air and out at sea. Stimulating ideas, encouraging collaboration, and pushing boundaries. That's the whole aim of this challenge. In 2023, the MBZIRC Maritime Grand Challenge will deploy autonomous robotic technologies to address the very real and present global problems of illegal fishing, piracy, smuggling, and coastline security. It's a highly complex, multi-layered task involving autonomous aerial and surface vehicles working together in a GNSS-denied environment off the coast of Abu Dhabi. The goal is to identify a target vessel and offload goods from it in the shortest possible time. What makes this different from other grand challenges? It's the very first challenge to involve heterogeneous collaboration among unmanned aerial vehicles and unmanned surface vehicles working in collaboration with each other. So are you ready for the challenge? Let's start by looking at the incentives, the prizes. Our total prize pot is $3.5 million and is designed not only to reward our 1st, 2nd, and 3rd place finishers, but all those who complete our simulation phase and advance to the final round. So all the participants who complete the simulation phase, up to 5 of them will be selected to proceed to the final demonstration phase, and they will split $500,000 equally among themselves. So the final winners of the final demonstration, there will be 3 places: 1st prize, 2nd prize, and 3rd prize. 1st prize will carry a prize purse of $2 million. The 2nd prize will carry a prize purse of $500,000, and the 3rd prize will carry a prize purse of $250,000. So the MBZIRC Maritime Grand Challenge teams will use a heterogeneous unmanned system comprising of 1 autonomous unmanned surface vehicle mounted with a manipulation arm and a swarm of 5 to 20 unmanned aerial vehicles. The UAVs may land on, take off from, and recharge on the USV. The USV base station and the manipulation arm will be provided to each team by Aspire. So we are going to provide you the USV, the necessary training required to operate the USV. We're going to make sure that we ship the USV to your your facility and back to Abu Dhabi for final demonstration. So that is our responsibility. Along with that, we are going to provide up to $50,000 per finalist team towards robotic arm and its mounting. So you can use this 50,000 funding either to mount one or multiple robotic arms as you deem fit, and the mounting of those robotic arms on the USV. So in terms of communication, the swarm of unmanned systems must work in a GNSS denied environment, and no extra system communication except for the communication to the operator. I will talk a little bit more about it in the next slide, is allowed. So the entire challenge has two main tasks. The first task is the inspection task, and the second task is the intervention task. In the inspection task, the UAV swarm is used to monitor a large surface area of water to identify vessels that are in motion. Out of the total number of vessels present, there will be a subset of target vessels, either one or two. And once a vessel is identified, the UAV swarm deploys to determine whether or not it is a target by scanning the vessel. And once the UAV swarm, UAV plus USV system makes a decision that this is a match to the target vessel provided in an intelligence report prior to the start of the demonstration, they activate a video stream to the operator along with the Boolean, BOOLEN, Boolean, for the operator to make a yes or no decision to either confirm or decline the identified target vessel. So if the operator thinks that the target vessel identified by the system is incorrect and he says no, the team will get a time penalty and they should continue searching. But if the operator confirms that it is the correct target vessel, the team should then proceed to the intervention task. So in the intervention task, the swarm will look on the target vessel to identify objects for intervention. The first object they need to identify is a small object, which is going to be up to 1 kilograms. And once they find this object, they activate a video stream to the operator along with a Boolean. And once the operator confirms that this is the correct object to be picked up, either a single UAV or a swarm of UAVs need to cooperate with each other, pick up this small object from the target vessel and put it on the USV platform. And once that is completed, the swarm should continue to look for a larger object, which is going to be up to 10 kilograms in weight. And once they find this target vessel, of course, the description of these objects will also be provided in the intelligence report. Once the swarm finds the larger object, they continue the video stream to the operator, coupled with a Boolean. And once the operator confirms, multiple UAVs, more than one UAVs, have to work in collaboration with each other, attach themselves to this larger object, move it from one part of the target vessel to another part in such a way that the final location of the larger object on the target vessel is convenient for the robotic arm mounted on the USV to reach into and pick up and put it on the USV platform. So it is a necessity that multiple UAVs collaborate or cooperate with each other to move this large object from one point on the target vessel to another point. And it is a requirement that the robotic arm that is mounted on the USV reaches into the target vessel, picks up the larger object and puts it on the USV platform. So the moment the larger object is placed on the USV platform, the demonstration time stops, and the time between the start of the demonstration and the time at which the larger object was placed on the USV is the time taken by your team for the demonstration activity. And whichever team completes this in the shortest amount of time is the winner. So We are conducting this entire grand challenge in 3 phases. It is a very complicated and hard challenge. As a result, it's important to proceed in phases. So the first phase is white paper phase, and teams are welcome to register and submit their white paper up to 31st January 2022, 6 p.m. GST. So the teams that are, we are going to go through all the white papers submitted and select up to 20 semi-finalist teams to proceed to the simulation phase. In the simulation phase, Aspire is going to provide simulation environment that will be available in open source. All the semi-finalists will be encouraged to use our simulation environment. However, if a team already has an excellent simulation environment which can do a better job than what we have provided, please run it past us. Let's take a look and evaluate if we can also judge this, judge the simulation proof of concept provided by you using your own simulation environment in a fair way. And if we are convinced that it would be better for you to use the simulation environment that you have in-house, then we can decide on it. Yeah, so we will deal with it in the simulation phase. I'm just trying to give an idea as to how we plan to conduct it. So at the end of the simulation phase, we want to see a proof of concept of final demonstration in simulation. So when you do the simulation, try and make sure that the proof of concept is as close to reality as possible. Up to 5 finalists will be chosen from the semi-finalists to proceed to the final demonstration. They will split prize money of $500,000 equally among themselves. And each of these finalist teams will be provided with a USV and up to $50,000 towards robotic arms and the mounting. And each of the finalist teams will do the development towards the final demonstration that will be held in Abu Dhabi. Summer of 2023, all the teams will come to Abu Dhabi for final demonstration. Each team will have to run the final demonstration 3 times. So there will be 3 runs, and we will take the best of 3 runs. Okay, let's go to the next slide. So this slide shows the summary of white paper submission requirement. Please make sure that your white paper adheres to the white paper format, that it's up to 15 pages in an A4 sheet with 2 centimeter margin and 12-point font. So please pick a font that's legible. We have not specified any particular font here, but use a font that is easy to read. And if you have any references, all the information that you provide to us has to be within this 15 pages. Yeah, if there is information on the 16th or 17th page, it will not be considered for grading. So what we are looking from you in white paper is the team information and technical approach. All these details are already provided in the white paper submission requirements, so I'm not going to repeat it. The teams, once you register, you're going to, you will be able to log in on our website into a portal where you can submit the white paper. So there is a possibility for teams to submit revisions of their white paper. Let's say you submitted a white paper today, and tomorrow you have an idea that can improve your design significantly. So you can rework your white paper and resubmit it in the portal, and you will see all the revisions submitted, I guess. And the latest white paper submitted by each registration will be considered for grading. So let's say if you submitted 1 yesterday, 1 today, and 1 tomorrow, tomorrow's white paper will be considered for grading. So we are welcoming applications from all over the world, from universities, research centers, businesses, individuals. And it's very important that teams work together, make partnerships and collaborations to be able to come together to solve this really hard challenge. In order to facilitate stronger teaming, we have provided MBZIRC community forum. Registration is the first step. Once you register, you're going to receive an email invite to enter the community. Once you join our community, you will be able to give a shout to other teams. Let's say you have expertise in unmanned aerial vehicle technology and unmanned surface vehicle technology, but you have absolutely no experience in robotic manipulation. Yeah, so you can give a shout to other teams that are also part of the community and ask, hey, is there anybody who would like to team with us? We're looking for experts in robotic arm manipulation. This is just an example. And another possibility of the, and another offering of the community forum is the possibility to ask questions to the organizers. Just be mindful when you ask the questions. Do not reveal design details when you ask a question in a public forum. Of course, you can also send a private message to the administrator. I would still discourage you from revealing any design details even to the organizers. So these details should be with you. Ask us questions that you would find okay to ask in a public forum. Most of the information that you need for white paper is already on our website in the white paper submission requirement, in our FAQs, on the webinar recordings that are also available on the website. However, if you still have some clarifications, just go to community forum, ask us a question, or join the webinar and use the Q&A section time to clarify your questions. Now, yeah, so are you ready for the challenge and registered? So white paper submission is still open till the end of this month. We are hoping to receive a lot of good white papers. Looking forward to that. So yeah, now is we are open for Q&A. Tom, do we have questions already?
Thank you, Veena. Yes, just a couple have come in on the chat, and a couple have come in on the Q&A function. We have just one with regards to the white paper deadline, and then just to sort of reconfirm what Veena just mentioned in her introduction there, and it's on our website, on our social media channels. The deadline is the 31st of January, not December. It was extended, and the time on that is 6 p.m. Gulf Standard Time. So anything received after that, we will not be able to accept. One regarding the simulation environment, and just will the simulation package be open for the public rather than just the 20 selected teams?
Yeah, this is a good question. The simulation environment will be available in an open source platform. So it will be available to the public. Anybody who is interested to just use it and experiment can do so.
Great. One question regarding, due to the recent spikes in COVID and some colleagues being impacted, is there any possibility that the deadline of 31st of January will be extended as previously done with the 31st of December deadline?
So we got many requests from participants asking us to extend the deadline for various reasons. One of the reasons was that it's a very hard challenge and they need to think this through and possibly team up with several teams. And COVID was also another reason. So we have already extended it by 1 month and we have absolutely no intention to extend it further. So 31st January 2022, 6 p.m. GST is the deadline.
Okay, then one on the how will the area be monitored, or how the area to be monitored be specified? Will it be a polygon with northeast, southwest directions, or will it be in any other way? Sort of follow up on that one. Just GPS coordinates with the GPS coordinate of the starting point. So firstly, just to clarify, that one is a GNS denied environment, so that it won't be anything to do with GPS. But I think, yeah, Vina, how will we specify the size and shape of the area?
So for the white paper, you can assume that we will provide you approximate area with respect to the starting point. So let's say from the starting point, we say 2 kilometers to the right, 2 kilometers to the left, and 2.5 kilometers depth. So this is how you can assume the area for the white paper phase. How it will be provided exactly for the simulation and final demonstration, we will give you further details in the beginning of those phases.
Great. Next one's on the starting point, and what will that look like? So just to give a little bit more context here, if teams to leave 1 or 2 UAVs at the starting point to serve as anchor points, what is the area they can use on the shore? Would it be sufficient to host 5 to 20 UAVs with launch mechanisms? So we assume it will be at least 50 by 50 meters or so. And will it be allowed to position, will teams be allowed to position UAVs on the ground in any configuration?
Okay, so you can leave some UAVs on the ground. Yeah, the start gate is going to be 50 meters by 50 meters on land and 50 meters by 50 meters in water. So there will be enough area for the USV to be docked before the start time. And there will be enough areas for 20 UAVs to rest on the start gate. If you plan to leave some of the UAVs at the start gate as an anchor, sure, you're allowed to do that. And I think, was there another question if it's possible to use additional USVs?
Yes. So is it possible to use additional smaller USVs?
Okay, this is the first time somebody has asked this question. So the equipment allowed in the competition is between from 5 to 20 UAVs that you have to bring, and we will provide a USV. So you cannot use anything other than these.
Okay, next one is on the potential to merge teams after the white paper phase. So if 2 teams are selected, or only one of 2 teams are selected, could one team with a strong background in computer vision that's not selected join them and form a stronger team after the white paper phase?
So merging teams and forming stronger teams is going to be encouraged throughout the challenge. However, every time you're either adding or removing team members, you have to run it past us. We just want to make sure that there is no conflict in this particular extension of teams. So as far as I see, this is going to be encouraged. Teaming activities will be encouraged throughout the challenge. Let's say one of the teams, let's say Team A and Team B have submitted a white paper. Team A is among the top 20 semi-finalists, and Team B is not there in this list. So Team A can definitely team with, get members from Team B to join hands with them, and they will still be part of the semi-finalist team as Team A is extending their team by a few more members. That's how it's going to be.
Great. Next one is, can we confirm that the small payload and the large payload will be on different vessels?
Well, I think it's a misunderstanding. Both small object and large object for intervention will be on the same target vessel. So from each target vessel, you need to pick up one small object and one large object. So together there will be 2 objects on each target vessel.
Great. Next one is, can we put visual markers on the USV?
So you are allowed to mount payloads on USV, and if visual marker is one of your payloads, yeah, sure, go ahead.
Next one's on the IP, and who will own the IP of the solution developed?
So I'm just going to read this from our terms and conditions. Just bear with me. Give me 1 second. I'm just trying to find it on our website so that I read it correctly. Okay, so this is what we are stating in our terms and conditions. Aspire does not claim any rights of ownership in the technology that is developed or used by the teams in respect of their challenge entry, which is called team technology. Each team will own the intellectual property in its team technology. However, acceptance of the prize money in phase 3, which is the demonstration phase, is conditional on the teams granting to Aspire and its affiliates a non-exclusive, sub-licensable, perpetual, royalty-free, worldwide license to use and exploit the intellectual property in the team technology for any purpose. Further details relating to this will be provided in the competitors agreement. We are currently finalizing the competitors agreement, and it will be available before the start of simulation phase. I hope I have answered this question sufficiently. This statement is also available in our challenge terms and conditions. Please go through it.
Great. Next one's on the white paper, and will this be judged anonymously? Meaning the team information and technical solution approach will be judged separately.
So this is how it's going to be judged. So each of the team information and technical design will be graded from 0 to 100. Yeah, so you will get a grade between 0 to 100 for team information and 0 to 100 for technical design. And we are going to take 40% of the team information grade and 60% of the technical design grade, and sum them, and that's going to be the final grade. And we don't intend to publish the grades obtained by each of the white papers submitted. We are going to grade them internally and just announce the 20 semi-finalists that are going to proceed to the simulation phase.
Just to clarify on that one, Veena, I think they would, the person who's asked this question would like to know whether, when judging the technical solution, will the jury know that the solution they are judging is from a certain university or a certain research institution, and that's in a particular country?
Oh, okay.
So, or will they just look at a technical solution and say, this is a technical solution and we don't know who it's from?
Oh no, so each of the judges will be given the entire white paper. So they're going to know the team information and the technical solution. So they're going to judge both the parts together. So they're going to read the entire white paper. So the judges who are going to read the technical solution are going to know whom it is coming from, because the team information is part of the white paper.
Okay. Next one is, what is the distance between the starting gate and the operator/HQ decision maker?
Okay, so we're going to install a base station very close to the start gate, the demonstration area. The operator will be sitting either in the base station or in the command center that's going to be a couple of kilometers further apart. The team just has to make sure that they send their video stream to the base station. Overlaying this communication to the operator, if the operator is sitting in the command center, is our responsibility. So just assume that the video stream that you're sending has to be very close to the start gate, let's say within about a couple of 100 meters.
Okay, next one is, will there be multiple different objects to pick up and the score depends on the number of objects retrieved, or only one object to retrieve, and it's basically a win or lose situation? And then what happens if no team completes the challenge fully?
Okay, I will answer the last part first. So if no team completes the challenge, nobody wins the prize money. Yeah, so that's about it. So in each run, there could be, for the white paper phase, there could be 1 or 2 target vessels, and each target vessel is going to have 2 objects to be picked up, 1 small object, 1 large object. I think that is clear now. Okay. Oh yeah, and the score, there is no score for doing various activities. We are going to measure the time taken for the entire demonstration from the start till the larger object is placed on the platform of the USV. I think I explained it in one of my slides while explaining the entire demonstration activity. So time is going to be your judge. Of course, there will be penalties based on the mistakes that you do. As of now, you can just assume that there is a penalty for wrong identification of the target vessel and wrong identification of the objects. But you know, in white paper, nobody is giving you penalty. We just want to see the techniques that you use for solving the challenge. In competitor agreement, we're going to provide you with a clear grid of penalties for various mistakes that you do in the demonstration.
Next one is, will there be 2 or more target vessels, and will each target vessel have both the 1 kg and 10 kg payloads?
Yeah, there will be maximum 2 target vessels, and each will have 1 small object, which will be up to 1 kilogram, and 1 large object, which will be up to 10 kilograms.
Okay, in one of the previous webinars, we have mentioned that an intelligence report of the target vessel and the objects to be picked up will be provided a few hours before the demonstration. It's not been clarified exactly how long or the number of hours in advance. So the question is, off the back of that, is there going to be time for teams to annotate? If they're giving it images, is there going to be time to annotate them and custom train YOLOV 5 YOLV5 from scratch in that time window?
Okay, this is a very reasonable concern. Look, for white paper phase, you just assume that the intelligence report is provided to you a few hours before, and you don't have to demonstrate the training for white paper. Just write your technique of using this intelligence report and feeding it into your system. However, for simulation phase and the final demonstration phase, we are going to have a couple of brainstorming sessions with various teams, and we will find a reasonable way to provide you the intelligence report before the final demonstration. So at least a few hours before, like let's say 3 to 4 hours before is going to be minimum, but we are even considering providing the intelligence report maybe a day before the final demonstration. Yeah, but this is not something that you need to worry about right now for white paper phase. We will discuss it in the later phases.
Okay, can we drop the payloads on ships to be scanned in unwanted situations? So I think this means if the UAVs scan a vessel, they realize it's not the target vessel, can they drop a payload on that vessel to identify it as a wrong choice? So they're kind of eliminating target vessels as they go through scanning the environment. Whoever's submitted that one, please clarify if I've not interpreted that correctly.
I didn't get it at all. I didn't understand that question.
So if teams scan a target vessel, they realize it's not the one they need, can they drop something on it to then sort of mark it as a wrong choice?
No, you cannot
so
do
they're
that.
eliminating, so it's a process of elimination as they go through and scan each vessel.
No, you cannot do that.
Okay. Is there a technical specification document available of the USV that will be used?
So just going back to the previous question, okay, look, I just said you cannot do it from the top of my head, okay, because this is just thinking through the real life scenario. Let's say you have deployed a swarm of UAVs to identify a target vessel, and there are 20 ships in the water. Yeah, do you go on dropping stuff on all these vessels that are not suspects? I don't think that's going to be acceptable by other vessels. Yeah, so ideally this is not a desired behavior, so please avoid it. But any do's and don'ts will also be included in the rule book. Just understand the spirit of the entire activity and make assumptions accordingly. Yeah. Sorry, Tom, next question.
Okay, perfect. I think just to kind of follow up on your point, Avina, it's the whole premise of the challenge is about finding real world solutions to real world problems, and it's not a particularly real world solution to go around dropping things on people's boats. We want to see the solutions that can be brought to life and used in a real life situation. So I'd say use that as your guiding principle. Correct. Very good. The next one's just on the technical specification document of the USV. Yes, all the details are on our website. So if you go onto the website there, you can find an entire section on the USV and exactly the dimensions and the spec of that. Yeah, I don't think you will need more than the details we have provided on our website for the white paper phase. For simulation phase, we are doing an exact mathematical model of the USV in the simulation environment. And for the final demonstration, you are getting this equipment, you will get the training, you will get all possible documentation to operate the USV that we are providing you with. Okay, another question is, can we land our UAV on the target vessel? If you can land the UAV on the target vessel, if it is for picking up, if it is in the process, once the target vessel is confirmed by the operator, you may land on the target vessel. Yes, it will be allowed. I'm guessing that you want to land on the target vessel just to orient yourself, to attach yourselves to the objects properly before lifting them. So I think this should be allowed. And you can go ahead and make this assumption for the white paper, yeah? Next one is, will there be any uncontrolled vessels in the demonstration area, e.g. just general public marine traffic? No, all the vessels will be controlled by us. So this will be a demonstration area that is meant for doing the final demonstration of the challenge. So we are going to try and control the environment as much as possible. As of now, you can assume that there will not be any general traffic in that area. Okay, next one is, do we have to turn on video streaming for every node, or will it be sufficient if we just stream from one or two of the UAVs to the operator? So all that we ask for is one video stream that provides us sufficient information
to say yes or no to the identified target vessel and identified objects to be picked up from the target vessel. Whether you stream it from one UAV or a swarm of 10 UAVs, we don't care. So as long as we receive the video stream, which is of good quality, which contains the information that will help us make the decision, it's your call.
Okay. In reference to sensors and navigation and communication in a GNSS denied environment, can teams use radar or LiDAR for either navigation or target surveillance / recognition?
So I think this should be possible. So you can mount payloads that have radar and LiDAR. However, just go through the specifications provided by the local authorities, laying out the local regulation. If you go to our website, I think I'll just tell you the FAQ number where I have provided a link of the local regulatory authorities. Yeah, it's FAQ number 40. In that, somebody had asked this question before, what is the local regulation on the radio frequency system? So the body is called TDRA, and the link to it is provided in the answer to FAQ number 40. Just go there and see if the regulatory authorities have anything against using the particular payload that you're specifying. If they have not, how do you call it? If they are not, what is the word? Sorry. If there is no limitations provided by the local regulatory authorities for this particular technology, you're free to use it.
Okay, next one is, will there be any fixed obstacles in the demonstration area that need to be avoided, like shallows, coral heads, or navigation markers?
So at least for the white paper, I would say no. And we are going to survey the area thoroughly before the final demonstration. If there is any such need, it will be provided to you in advance. But I think you should have the capability to avoid obstacles built into your system. So let's say there are a couple of buoys floating around in water. You cannot just smash them with USB and then drive further. So all these things should be built into the USB navigation.
Okay. I had a few more coming in. How far would be the target vessels from the UAV homing position?
How far will the target vessels be from UAV homing position? We're not going to say that. I mean, we're just going to provide you the demonstration area. You have to find where the target vessel is.
Okay, next one is, will teams need to apply for permits to fly their UAVs, or will Aspire organize a general waiver?
Okay, this is now for the final demonstration. We will provide the information that that is necessary for you to apply for permits. If possible, we will also facilitate it in the sense, provide you a point of contact for clarifications, but applying for permit itself has to be done by you.
Okay. And then next one is, bear with me. What is the control interface for the USV? Do the teams deploy control, navigation, communication package on the USV, or would that be provided with the USV and they can control it through that interface?
So the USV will be provided with the processor that that will support both ROS1 and ROS2 drivers, and you will have to, and it will have a LAN port for you to connect to your processor. So basically you will have to mount your sensor payloads, connect it to your processor for computing the path planning information, and then send it to the processor that is mounted on the USV. It comes with the USV for the USV to navigate. So look, these are all details. We have provided the top level information required for white paper phase on our white paper. I understand the more details you have, the better you can write your white paper. And if we start getting into details, we will never be able to provide you all the information in time for the white paper submission. So just assume that there will be a processor that will be provided on board the USV that can take the information about path, and then this information will be sent to the thrusters of the USV to navigate the USV.
Okay. Next question is, can teams use the LTE 4G cellular network to communicate within the swarm? And they've just clarified that GPS can't be used in this method. Okay,
so if you're, I guess you're asking if you can establish your own local LTE or 4G or 5G network. The local authorities have very strong restrictions on establishing local LTE or 5G networks, and we are currently working with them to clarify this. The safest possibility would be to establish a local Wi-Fi connection. So as of now, for white paper, go ahead and make assumptions based on all the information that you can find on our website. And also just check the TDRA website as to what is possible, what is not.
Okay, just sort of clarification on one of the questions earlier about the distance from the UAV homing position and the target vessels. I mean, what is the maximum distance rather than asking what is the specific distance?
Look, the area for demonstration is 10 square kilometers. It could be that the start gate, we just say half a kilometer to the right and left of start gate, and you will have about 5 kilometers depth from the start gate. Or we could say 2 kilometers to the right, 2 kilometers to the left, and 2.5 kilometers depth. So it really varies. Yeah, so we are going to provide the demonstration area details along with the intelligence report. So your solution has to be flexible enough to deal with 10 square kilometer area dimensions. So if you chart out various possibilities, you will be able to find out the maximum length. I would say account for at least 8 or 9 kilometers maximum distance. What if it's a very long strip of water that you have to survey?
Okay, next one's regarding the judging of the white paper phase, and just will the teams have the chance to defend their technical solution with the jury, and will the jury communicate with any of the teams to clarify particular points within their proposed solution?
Okay, I think there were multiple questions in it. So the white paper grading phase will not involve the teams at all. We are not going to reach out to all the teams to defend their white papers, because we have got a lot of registrations, and this is getting in touch with every team that has submitted a white paper for clarification will not cater to the timelines that we are aiming. So the way we are going to do is our jury and judging panel are going to grade the white papers. We are going to pick the top 20 semi-finalists who agree to sign the competitor agreement and then announce them on the website. So if the jury has any clarification to make with these top 20 semifinalists, then maybe we will get in touch with them to seek clarification, but there is not going to be an opportunity to defend your design or something like that.
Another one just on the sort of the starting area, and can teams choose their own point to start, given the geometry of the demonstration area?
Now there is going to be a particular start gate and you need to launch from that start gate.
Okay, just had one more question come in, and I think we've covered them all from there. Can we continue? Will we provide any sort of more general information about the payloads, such as the handle shape? Are there going to be any hooks or eyelets or grip pads? And should the white paper arm design be as general as possible, if that's the case?
So the white paper design should be as general as possible, because we want to see various innovations in trying to grab any type of object from the target vessel. That's the reason why we have deliberately not provided concrete information about the shape, size, texture, and picking up possibilities of the target objects.
I think it goes back to the point about this. It's a real world challenge. So it needs to work in the real world, and authorities, border forces aren't going to know whether they need to inspect a fishing license of a boat in illegal waters, or whether they are picking up contraband, or whatever that may be. That the solutions developed need to be adaptable, and they're not always going to be picking up something with a hook or a grip pad in the real world. So that's the sort of as I said, the guiding principle to go down.
Right.
Just had a few more come in. Is the budget of the solution going to be considered in the judging of the white paper?
That is not even asked for, right? We have not even asked for that. We have not even asked for the budget information in the white paper submission criteria. So this is not going to be part of the judging criteria.
Okay, another one just on the clarifying the members of the team. So this is from come in from a university student. They're a team of undergrad students. So by definition, some members will be leaving, and they may have some new graduate members that could potentially join, given the challenge spans a number of years. Is that fine to then add and remove members?
So changes in team will be allowed, but every change has to be approved by Aspire. Let's say because each person proceeding to simulation and final demonstration will have to sign the competitor agreement. And let's say there are 5 members in a team, A, B, C, D, E, and E graduates and then leaves the university, and you need to find a replacement for E. It is your responsibility to find a replacement for E, because the team has changed right now. So basically, one of the people who has signed the competitor agreement has left the team, is not part of the team anymore. And if you want to substitute that particular member, you need to find somebody, and you have to discuss with Aspire if this person can be part of your team. And once we give you a green signal, this new person also has to sign the competitor agreement, and they can become part of your team. So this is how it's going to work.
Okay, a couple more that have just come in. Will there be any markers in the boundary of the demonstration area to clearly define it, such as a buoy or a flag? And if so, will the nature of the markers be provided to the teams in advance?
So for the white paper phase, just assume that there will not be any markers. I think we already addressed this question. We will provide you some references from the start gate. For example, 2 kilometers to the left, 2 kilometers to the right, and 2 kilometers depth. Yeah, the entire thing composing of 10 square kilometers. This is how this is what you can assume for the white paper.
Okay, and last question now. There's multiple questions within this. Will the inspection area be completely open sea, or will there be an island or land in the middle of it?
So, this is a very good question. So, yeah, it will be held at sea. It could be that there are islands, small islands in between. Why not? So this is a possible scenario. So the more robust your solution, the better it is. And there was another question along with this one.
Yes. Will the other vessels in the area have a similar size to the target vessel? What's the biggest size? What's the smallest size? And can the target vessels hide behind one of the other vessels or a group of them?
Well, we don't intend to hide the target vessel behind other vessels. So yeah, it really depends. So if there are two vessels standing parallelly in water, one beside the other, a drone can see them as two separate vessels. But if you see it from USV, there is a possibility that one vessel hides behind the other. So this is a little bit difficult to answer. Okay, so hiding behind one another is really a matter of the angle from where you're looking. That question is answered. And the next one is the size of the vessels. So for the white paper phase, just assume that all the vessels will be between 10 to 15 meters long and 3 to 5 meters wide. And if there will be other vessels that will be similar in size to the target vessels, yes, that is very much possible.
Okay, and then one more that's just come in is the budget of the robotic arm included in the amount split that the teams will receive as part of the 500,000 for making the final stage?
Okay, so the teams that will be selected to proceed to the final demonstration will split this $500,000 equally, and that is your prize money. You can do whatever you want with it. But of course, you have to proceed to the final demonstration. The $50,000 that will be given to per team is in addition to that, that money. Yeah, and this has to be spent towards the robotic arms and the mounting on the USV.
Okay, I think that's everything. Thank you very much for all your questions. And one more that's just come in. Okay, just a clarification on that last question. It's if the target vessel is really close to the other vessel, which will block the USV approaching the target vessel. So I think it's more just a...
This might happen, no? This is a real world scenario, so it can happen. So please account for this situation. So this might happen. So don't focus only on this one. That just be aware that this could also be one of the situations in the real world.
Okay, great. So thank you very much for your time, everyone. Just to clarify, we have another webinar next week. That'll be the final webinar, and you can we'll update the website so you can register for that one online. We will send you out a mailer to all registered participants. So if for any reason those on the webinar today haven't registered on our website, please do. And you know, as with all the other webinars, we will be uploading this to YouTube and holding it on the website so you can revisit and go back to them. So yeah, next week's the final one. So just to give you another opportunity to ask us any questions if there's any sort of lingering doubts on as you finalize your white papers and your approach. Otherwise, good luck, and yeah, looking forward to seeing your solutions. Vina, over to you to close.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you for all the amazing questions. if you have any further questions that need a quick clarification, please use MBZIRC community forum to ask your questions. Please take a look at our FAQ that is on the website. It has a lot of good information. Many participants have asked us very good questions, and we have tried our best to answer them and use this information for the white paper phase. Yeah, and all the best to everyone who's writing white paper right now. And great, have a great day and see you all in the next webinar. Bye-bye.
Thanks very much, everyone. Bye-bye.